All right. Hey, music lovers, welcome to the podcast. This is Byron with Musical Miles Podcast. We are here in Blackfoot, Idaho, with a talented young artist by the name of EllieMae.
That's me.
And she is from Jerome, Idaho.
From Jerome, Idaho.
Jerome, Idaho. That's a great place to be from, huh?
Not a bad place to grow up.
Yeah. Great little town. Idaho's a great place to grow up.
It is.
But we are here in Blackfoot, Idaho, at the Eastern Idaho State Fairgrounds at the Vintage Market of East Idaho. Vintage Market Days of East Idaho. So my producer's back there giving me some heads up. So, but welcome. You opened the event today.
Yep.
Out at the front gate.
Yeah, I got to play the front gate while people were walking in, and done this for a few years now. So
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I love
Cool.
Lori. She puts it on, and
I met Lori. Actually came. We were here yesterday and interviewed the artist that played yesterday. Cool young girl that just does covers. But
nice.
So it was fun and exciting to get here and sit down and visit with her and kind of figure out the setup.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk a little bit about you. We were just talking before we fired this up. We actually met you in Filer, Idaho last year at the Highway 30.
Highway 30.
Yeah. So they had a all-girl day or all-women's day, and you got to play there, and that's like in your backyard.
I know. It's just right across the river there.
Yeah.
I love Highway 30. I've gotten to play it a few times now.
Have you?
4 or 5 times, and yeah, it's just cool to see it grow too. And the artists, especially the first time Lainey Wilson played it, I've played with her at Highway 30 like 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's done a private gig with Gordy, and then she played it twice.
Yeah.
And she's just blown up.
Yeah, Gordy won't get her back, I don't imagine.
She's probably a little expensive now, but
that happens. That
but
happens.
it's cool to see him like grab these artists, and he believes in them and knows they have talent, and then they blow up.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, he's had some great artists there. We've been, I think, 4 or 5 times to Highway 30. And so we were lucky to get to see you, and we'd heard a little bit about you and knew that you were a local girl. So, being Idaho people, the Idaho music scene's bigger than most people understand it
It's
to
not
be.
huge, but there's a lot of good talent here that people don't know of. It's
And there
a hidden
has
gem.
been a lot of good talent over the years, right?
sure.
Right?
A
So
ton.
you go back a long time ago, but the Bronze got a deep, deep history in Idaho.
They're great.
And they are great people. So let's talk a little bit about you. So first of all, you tell me your musical journey, where you started, kind of what got the ball rolling for you.
So my musical journey is kind of typical, like a lot of artists. Grew up singing in church.
Okay.
So my mom, I remember being like 7 or 8 years old, and my mom would bribe me to sing at church. And she's like, hey, I got a toy, if you sing on Father's Day or Easter. And she had this closet in our basement full of our Christmas presents, and it was locked. She's like, if you sing, I'll let you go pick one of them out. I'm like, all right, sweet. I get Barbies or whatever it was,
Right.
American Girl dolls. And I grew up singing in church, went to a real small church. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was helping lead worship at my church.
Okay.
So the music wasn't all that good there. So I was like, well, let's see what I can do.
Sure.
And helped lead worship and really got started with that. And my mom grew up with a famous artist, and he grew up in her home. His name was Ryan Stevenson, and he's a famous Christian artist. So he's like tours with Toby Mac and huge Christian artist, and he was the one who taught me how to play my first chord on my guitar.
Okay.
So that's the only lesson.
What was the first chord he taught
An
you?
E minor.
An E minor.
The easiest chord he could play. But I was the only guitar lesson I've ever taken. So taught myself how to play guitar after that, and I moved to Iowa for college. So I grew up on a farm, on a dairy farm.
Right.
And wanted to be a farmer. I never thought I'd be a musician, and love agriculture. I still do. And so I went.
Got your degree.
Yep.
You have a 4-year degree from Iowa.
From Iowa State. And I got a degree in agricultural business and economics.
Cool.
And lived in Iowa. And a kid in my major, he was in a country band.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, I saw a video of you singing at church. Like, got a pretty good voice. You should sing country music. I'm like, all right. He's like, come open my shows. And so I played a couple shows with him, and I'd play 3-4 songs, whatever songs I could learn. And went and started playing bars and got my own little band together, and it was the same. I ended up getting a job in college where I was a worship leader on Sundays.
Okay.
Paid $200 a Sunday. I'm like, this is better than working at the library.
Right.
So I was being a worship leader on Sundays, and then the same band I led worship with, they played with me in the bars Friday and Saturday nights.
That's a little bit controversial,
I know.
is it not?
Well,
How'd
you know,
your
I got
mom
a song
handle
about
that?
They probably didn't know most of it. But
Yeah.
and then ended up going on the TV show The Voice.
Yeah,
So
I was
they
gonna ask you
found
about
me.
that.
I didn't even audition.
That's so
So
cool.
they found me on social media and asked me to come out and audition and do the blinds, and ended up going on the show and was on Blake Shelton's team, and now I'm a country singer.
Now you're a singer. So
Yeah.
what year was that? What season was that?
I was on
Voice?
season 17, so it aired at the beginning of 2020.
Right in the middle of the
shit hit the fan.
Yeah, right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic blew up the world, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty much all pre-recorded.
Sure.
So we filmed it all the summer before,
Right.
and then aired at the beginning of 2020.
Okay. Okay. So and then you were still going to school at the time. You were a senior, correct? So
Yeah, I was a senior. So a funny story about that was I was filming it while I was in college.
okay.
And I was in this class, an entrepreneurship class, and you could only miss 2 days. And if you miss more than 2 days, automatic F.
Oh no.
And so
That's
I had to
harsh.
fly out a bunch to California for these auditions, and I had to miss a lot of school, but I had to sign a contract that nobody knew I was on the show because they don't want to spoil it.
Right, right.
So I told my teacher, I'm like, you cannot tell anyone, but I'm on The Voice and I'm going to have to miss like 6 days. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
And then once I made it on, it was like,
Then
he showed it all in class and everything.
Then
so.
he knew somebody famous, so
Yeah.
then he was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So, how did that go? I went back and watched your
Yeah.
audition videos, but
Didn't make it very far, a couple rounds.
Yeah.
But
a
you
cool
know, it's-
experience nonetheless.
Yeah, the show, it's a cool experience. I don't think I'd ever do it again.
Yeah,
It's very political, and
I'm sure.
I feel like I didn't have a sad enough story. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was a cool opportunity, and for me, I say it's like a resume builder.
sure.
You know, people
Well,
are like, "Oh,
anytime-
you're on The Voice." That's
Yeah. Anytime
Cool.
you can throw that on your resume, I was on
Yeah.
The Voice, and you got to meet those people and actually know them, and probably still have contact with several people from that time,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, some of my best friends are
Yeah,
girls that were on the show, and
Cool.
we lived in California for 3 months, so
yeah.
you get close with those guys.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It was really
I'm
fun.
sure you do. Well, cool. Well,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit. So you came back, you finished school, you got involved with the family farm and the dairy. Your dairy's out in Malta, is
Yep,
it not?
Malta.
Yeah.
So we have a dairy in Jerome, and then a dairy in Malta.
Okay. So the dairy in Malta is pretty big, though.
Yeah.
Like 20,000 head
Yeah,
you're milking.
there's a few out there.
So Shanda was asking me earlier, can she milk a cow by hand?
Oh, duh.
Okay, we
It's
knew.
not that hard.
It's not. No, I know how to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You
So
just go like this.
yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so let's. So you came back, started working on the farm, but while you were in school, and kind of this built a fire under you, the voice deal. I'm assuming. When did you start writing music, your own music? Because I know you've written a lot of songs.
Yeah, I've written quite a few songs. I feel like I've always been a songwriter. Like, I can find songs from when I was in high school, just random songs. Like, I don't probably even remember them now, but I have always loved to write, whether it was like poetry or songs.
Okay.
I've always loved music. It's been my outlet since I was a little girl. But I would say I really got into songwriting when I moved to college.
Okay.
So the first song I ever released was when I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
And then since then, yeah, I've been writing a bunch of music. I haven't released a ton, but
So what I have listened to, what I've seen, and of course I've seen your live show, and
Yeah.
but the one that really stuck out to me was Coors Light and
everyone's
Jesus
favorite.
Christ.
I have a
that's.
song called Coors Light and Jesus Christ. It's
Yeah.
my most loved and my most hated song.
I'm sure. But it's a great song, so you need to
Thank
listen
you.
to it. Give it a listen. Go on our Spotify account and anywhere music is streamed. Right. So
Yep.
you have that. You also have Cowboy Boots.
Yep.
That's a fairly
That's
new
a
release.
new song, called Cowboy Boots. That's about an ex-boyfriend of mine.
Uh-oh.
He never liked my boots. So I'm a country girl, and he was a city boy.
You
And
gave him the boot.
I gave him a try, opposites attract. But it didn't work too long. So,
No,
yeah,
no.
he's like, I don't really like it when you wear boots everywhere. And I'm like, well, I'm from a dairy farm. So what do
There
you
you go.
expect?
There you
Yeah, he
go.
got a good song out of it, though.
That's cool. So let me ask you this. So have you done all your songwriting by yourself, or
Yeah.
you don't collaborate with anyone?
No, I've never co-written anything. I think part of that is because of where I live. There's not a lot of
Songwriters out there.
songwriters. Yeah, but I do like to write by myself.
Yeah.
I find I write a lot. In my notes app on my phone, I probably have like 600 notes, and
Right,
a lot of them
right.
are unfinished songs.
Sure.
But I feel like the best songs that I've written them in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to me because as we've got more involved, and we've been music junkies ourselves for lots of years, and we love music, but we really, really love live music.
Yeah.
And I haven't really experienced, other than on YouTube, whatever. But I haven't experienced a songwriters round to speak of. But I'm actually going up to Livingston in a couple weeks to the
You're gonna go to one?
Songwriter Festival
That's
up
cool.
there, and have several interviews lined out.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that. But so have you've ever participated in something like that where you just sat on the stage with 2 or 3 other artists and took turns playing songs?
No,
And
never have.
No.
No, when I was in college, when I was a sophomore in college, I went down to Nashville. They're banging something over
Yeah,
there.
they are. All right.
But yeah, when I was in college, sophomore, I went down to Nashville and I did a songwriters retreat.
Okay.
So I just went with a bunch of writers and we stayed at a cabin and everyone was kind of writing. They'd give us prompts and just to learn how to write.
Right.
But I've never done a songwriting round.
So it was a songwriter's retreat, and you went off in a corner and by yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't collaborate with anyone. That's interesting because
yeah.
I would think that
So they would put us in groups and we would talk, but I had a hard time writing with people.
Okay.
Like I was like, what you're saying, I wouldn't say. I didn't like it.
Well, and obviously your minds go different places.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I had a good conversation with when I interviewed Django Walker, and he told me the backstory to how he wrote something about a boat, and it was the same deal. But
Yeah.
it was a group of guys, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "What are we going to write about?"
Yeah.
So anyway, that's an interesting process, but not everybody can work with someone else.
No.
Right. And so anyway,
It is crazy how different everybody is when it comes to writing. Like a lot of people write lyrics first, but then a lot of people will write the music and then they figure out the lyrics.
Yeah.
And they'll write a chorus but need help with the verses.
Right. But
Yeah, I just write. I'll sit down with my guitar and mess around and play a couple chords and like see what I come up with.
Sure. Well, I the music that you've written that I've listened to, I really enjoy. I think
Thank
you
you.
have extremely good talent. Let's talk a little bit about. We talked about the voice. We talked about your songwriting process. Let's talk about some of the artists that you've actually opened for.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. So you have a very long list
I know,
and some very
it's
talented
probably-
artists. We mentioned Lainey
Yep.
Wilson.
I've gotten
so
to play with Lainey a handful of times, and
Okay.
she's really taken off since the last time I played with her. But
Right.
she's super cool. Got to talk with her a little bit, and we're a lot alike. She grew up on a farm in
Right.
Louisiana, and just normal girl.
Yeah.
Just works her butt off.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
she works hard.
Yeah, I respect her a lot.
Yeah.
She's super cool. Played with Co Wetzel. Just did another gig with him a couple months ago.
Okay.
Played with Nelly, the rapper.
I saw that.
Yeah,
How
that was
that?
probably the most different one I've ever
Yeah.
played. They wanted to do a cross-genre concert,
Okay.
and
Where was that?
that was in South Dakota, north of South Dakota,
Okay.
North Dakota, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 10,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the biggest show I've ever played,
Okay.
and he's done some collabs with country artists. So.
Right.
But yeah, Ellie and Nelly.
Yeah.
A lot of people he didn't have any merch, so a lot of people were coming up to my merch tent and they're like, "You got the Nelly merch?" And my boyfriend was running my merch. He's like, "No, we got Ellie merch, but you could just cross out, add an N."
Throw an N in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
oh,
oh
that's
boy,
funny.
we'll sell a
That's
lot of
funny.
merch that way.
Yeah. Well, and then I see you've worked with Craig Morgan.
Yep.
Craig's a
He's
great
probably
artist.
the nicest guy I've ever met.
I've never met him, but I can imagine that. We saw him this summer with actually Jelly Roll.
Really? I
And
love
it
Jelly
was
Roll, too.
amazing.
Yeah, Craig
Amazing.
Morgan. It was really neat. So how the stage was set up, they back a semi-trailer up to the stage and they unload a lot of their equipment, but it's
Right.
touching the stage. They don't move it afterwards.
Okay.
And then after they unload everything, they'll put some chairs and stuff, a bar or whatever, and
Right.
hang out. And so during my set, I look over and he's sitting in there and he sat and he watched my whole set. which a lot of these artists don't do.
Right.
They don't really
they're back
care.
in their green
yeah, they don't
room,
care
whatever.
about you. They're like,
Yeah.
whatever. But he sat and listened to my whole set, and then afterwards he went back to his bus. I didn't talk to him, and then when he was on stage, he saw me standing side stage, and he took an intermission, walked off stage, and came and talked to me in the middle of his set.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, and he's like, you need to keep doing what you're doing. Like, God gave you a great talent.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you my contact. We'll reach out. Never heard from him, but
Yeah.
he was really neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, he seems like a really great guy.
Yeah.
So, let's see who else.
I don't even
Got
know.
to know here. Sam Riggs, you work with Sam.
Sam Riggs.
Morgan Wade as well.
Yep.
South Hall.
Reed Southall.
Yeah, how was that?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, they're friends of mine. They're good guys.
We are actually headed to Oklahoma, and I think I asked you this if you knew
Yeah.
who Brian White was with the Damn
Yeah.
Quails.
Don't
So
know him,
Brian lives in Oklahoma, but I talked to him about some other interviews out there, and he suggested Reed Southall.
Yeah.
And I love those guys.
Yeah, they're
we've
awesome.
seen them at the Highway 30 a couple of times,
Yeah.
and very talented.
Yeah, their
So-
keyboard player. I've known him for years, and
Cool.
yeah, they're a great band. Good dudes.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
you should try to get them if you can.
Well, we will.
Yeah.
We will definitely do that. And of course,
And he
we'll,
has really good hair to
he's
read.
got great
so,
hair.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's important. So.
It is. you know.
All right. Let's see. So, what else we got going on in your world? So, any plans to cut
An
a
album?
full album?
Yeah, so I've been working on one right now, actually. I
Okay.
think being an independent artist, the hardest thing is recording. It's really expensive.
Right.
So I've been saving up for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Just went down to Texas a few weeks ago, or a month ago now, and recorded 4 songs off.
Where'd you go?
I was in East Texas. It's Gladewater,
Okay.
which is right by Tyler, Texas.
Right.
Yeah, so I recorded with a guy named Chad Mullen.
Okay.
He's a good dude, great producer. And yeah, we did 4 of the songs, and then we're gonna go back at the beginning of the year and finish a record.
Okay.
So I'll do 10 to 12 songs.
Oh, good.
But
good.
yeah, trying to
So
save up
you're
a little more money.
You're gonna put it on a vinyl? Is that
Oh,
the
yeah.
plan? Yeah.
I'm old school. I
Yeah.
like that stuff.
Well, vinyls made a big resurgence.
Yeah, they
and
did.
and it's very cool. And we tell everybody, on the podcast and when we interview artists, look, when you see an artist somewhere that you like, and you have an opportunity to buy a ticket, go to their show and buy a ticket. Number
Yeah.
1. Number 2, go to the merch tent, buy the T-shirts, buy the caps.
Yep.
Support them because it takes a lot of money to get up and down the road.
It
right?
does.
Right.
And I think too, for me, I don't play a lot of huge venues.
Sure.
I'll play them here and there, but when you buy a ticket, I'm not really getting those ticket sales.
Right,
so
right.
I'm
But
making money.
You're
off
making money off the merch and the tip jar. Don't forget
Yeah.
that tip jar. That
Yeah,
tip jar
merch
is really
is a great
important.
way to support artists.
Yes, agreed. And I had this conversation with a lot of artists like Tyler and the Train Robbers, and Tyler is such a cool guy. And I
Love him.
watched Tyler at all these festivals we've been to where he's played, and he goes and he works the merch tent.
Yeah.
And he autographs everything.
Yeah,
and
he does.
He signs and takes pictures, and he's
Yeah.
just such a cool dude. And in fact, that's when we met you, was at the Highway 30,
Yeah.
and actually got a picture with this cute girl. And
Heck
so
yeah.
always
I just
always look
played
for
with Tyler.
opportunities.
He's a great guy, and his
He is.
band is so nice.
Yeah, we just interviewed Tyler right after the BBR. We interviewed him in Pocatello. He came and
Nice.
played. We just kind of ran out of time in Chalice. We
Yeah.
had so many interviews lined out. But
Hey, that's good.
so you got that coming up. So tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me anywhere, really. I got music on iTunes, Spotify. Anywhere you listen to music, I'm on there. And my name is EllieMae, and the spelling is one word with a capital M. So people they have a hard time finding me sometimes because they
break that up.
Yeah,
right?
and they spell it wrong. But yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have a website, EllieMaeMusic.com. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then my Instagram, EllieMae.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
yeah.
So you're hoping to finish up recording the album. What's kind of timeline? 6 months or?
Yeah, hoping to have it out at the beginning of next summer.
Okay.
So record it at the beginning of the year and do a lot of marketing and promo,
Sure.
and then release it right before summer shows hit.
Okay. So where are you headed next? From
Where am I
here,
headed
you got. I know we had trouble getting this scheduled because you're a
know.
busy girl.
Yeah, the last
All
2
August,
months
yeah.
were my busiest months of
Right.
the year. Usually summertime is the busiest, playing a lot of festivals and
Sure.
some fairs and stuff. My schedule's starting to slow down a little bit. I have a lot of private shows in the next 2 months.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll just be local.
Okay.
Here in Idaho.
So if you're looking for somebody for your holiday parties,
Yeah.
Christmas.
I like the private parties.
Yeah,
They're
private
fun.
parties, backyard parties are always
Heck
fun.
yeah.
So really, really enjoy this. We got one more request from you. If you
We
would
gonna
grab
do a
that,
song?
grab that guitar behind you.
right.
So this is provided to us by Teton Guitars, the local Idaho company. And you can slide that back if you want.
All right.
Get a little more comfortable.
Thank you.
And play us a little tune.
This is a nice guitar.
Thank you. And I will let Teton know. They've been really good to work with. So
I'm going to play a song that I just recorded that
Awesome.
I'll be releasing soon.
perfect.
So like we said, I'm a farm girl.
Yeah.
And a farmer's favorite color is
Green.
green.
John Deere green.
John Deere green.
Yeah.
And so I had to do a little song for all the farmers out there.
Perfect.
But green, I was thinking about the color green a lot. And I'm like, green, it might mean something different to different people, right? Maybe like money, maybe like golfing, maybe like hiking, maybe like smoking.
Right?
But me,
It's manure.
yeah, it's John Deere tractor. So I wrote this song about it. This is called My Kind of Green. Your kind of green might be money in the bank, white dollar bills like Benjamin Frank. Your kind of green might be rolled up in a paper, smoking that thing like my old buddy Hank. Green might be way up in the trees, looking at the pines all environmentally. You're green as a course on a sunny day, playing some golf, putting coors away. But my kind of green is a tractor out in the field, plowing some dirt. The thing's made out of steel, puts food on the table and money in the bank. You got one, you know it costs an arm and a leg. Some call it John Deere, I call it my kind of green. And green might be your favorite color, it also means it's almost summer. Green at the light means no stop sign, or green as your beer on a St. Patty's night. But my kind of green is a tractor out in the field, plowing some dirt. The thing's made out of steel, puts food on the table and money in the bank. You got one, you know it costs an arm and a leg. Some call it John Deere, I call it my kind of green. Ooh, it's John Deere green. I ain't saying I don't got money, I'll take a hit or two. I like looking at all the pretty pines, might play around or golf with you. But my kind of green is a tractor out in the field, plowing some dirt. The thing's made out of steel, there's food on the table and money in the bank. You got one, you know it costs an arm and a leg. Some call it John Deere, I call it my kind of green. Ooh, it's John Deere green. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless all the farmers out there.
Yes, God bless the farmers, and thank you so much. I'm
Thank
an
you for
Idaho farm
having
boy
me.
myself.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much. If you'll
Gotta
sign
sign
that
this
for
thing?
me, you just pick
Where
a
should
spot
I sign it?
anywhere
it's just a
you'd
hard
like.
decision
So
here.
yeah, Cody Canada's on there, and Django
cool.
and Darcy Carlson,
Oh, she's
Muzzy,
so cute.
Muzzy Braun.
I'm
right
gonna sign it
there.
right here.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, this has been awesome. We appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us. We look forward to following you and your career.
Thank you so
and,
much.
And we have just really, really enjoyed. Don't forget your capo.
Might need that.
Yeah. So just want to remind everybody to follow Musical Miles Podcast on all social media platforms, as well as our YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, click the subscribe button right here where I'm pointing my finger. Click it. That's important. We need your subscription so that we get more followers.
That's
but
right.
Anyway, we've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best.
And we look forward to seeing you from Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host, Byron. We'll see you somewhere down the road. Adios.